I do think it's something positive for the organization that
Correct.
you can build on.
I'm with you every step of the way. Every single thing that you just said is exactly, Eric, what I said, on my show on Tuesday night, I guess it was. Yeah, Tuesday night. For all of those reasons and then some. I mean, if you look at, I guess to use an example that you just cited, how they started, 2008, Zorn's first year, right? And how they finished that year. Now, there was obviously other things going on, but that's the kind of 8-8 or whatever that you don't want.
Right.
This, not that anybody wants 8-8, not that anybody's satisfied, not that anybody shoots for 8-8,
right.
But when you get your ass kicked in Los Angeles and in Dallas in back-to-back weeks, granted, those two losses do not just get eliminated and forgotten about. When you get your ass kicked like that, and then you respond with, yes, 3 games, assuming that they beat the Giants this Sunday, 2 at home, 1 on the road, in which you win, again, assuming that they do finish at 500, that's a positive sign. It's not a guarantee. It's not anything more than, if you are a creature of stability, which I am, I want Jay Gruden to be here. I want, as much as possible, Kirk Cousins to be here within certain context and certain limits. If you are a creature of stability and a foundation of what you're trying to build as an organization, not one at a time, not a fantasy football, if you're a creature of stability, it is very important to finish 8-8.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, you also mentioned something, I'm glad you prefaced it several times, because I'm guilty of it again right now, and I've done it all week. I never do this with the Redskins. I'm assuming they're going to win on Sunday. I never do that. And for some reason, they've played so well these last couple of weeks, albeit against some terrible quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And the Giants have been so dreadful this year, and they've had so much turmoil and drama. I am just assuming they're going to finish this out in style. Right. But this is the perfect setup to be let down, isn't it?
Yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, Eli's going to start, right? At some point, what's his name? Davis Webb play, we think. Have they? Yeah, that's been the rumor, that because Geno Smith deactivated, that Davis Webb is going to be active, that at some point he'll likely play. Now, the question is if the Giants are winning and say it's 17-13 midway through the fourth quarter, I don't know how you pull Eli in what could be his last home game as a Giant quarterback. But, assuming that the Redskins have a lead, maybe you throw Davis Webb in there. Either way, they don't have Landon Collins, who's busy popping off at the mouth. We know they suspended Eli Apple. Half their secondary is shredded. The Redskins still have some things that they have to worry about. Damon Harrison at nose tackle, so on and so forth. We know they don't have Odell Beckham. We know they can't run the ball. We know their offensive lines. This is a game that the Redskins should win, even though it's on the road. But, of course, there's no guarantees. Now, it would be a massive letdown, again, if they lose. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you feel differently. Even though it would be a massive letdown, I still, at 7-9, I still don't think you'd go and hit the blow-up button and start firing Jay and all of his coaching staff.
They're beyond that. If they finish 5-11, even then I would think it might be a little questionable because he has been so hamstrung with injuries. That it would be you could still make an argument supporting Jay. But if they finish 8-8, they have 10 starters right now, last time I checked, on the injured reserve. That's a real thing. Now, I talked to a buddy of mine who played a long time in the NFL, and he made a point that, a savvy point that I wasn't really sort of hip to and hadn't thought about. But he said, Eric, you also have to remember this. And he said teams, they do this all the time. Now, he's not necessarily saying the Redskins are doing this, but you have to remember, to put this in context, that losing teams often will stack their IR as a built-in excuse. We had so many injuries. Right. And they'll when it's all, towards the last few weeks, they
even
just start
when they're scrubs who had no impact on the team.
Because it's a built-in excuse. I don't think the Redskins are doing that. I mean, I counted 10 starters that are on IR. They don't want those guys on IR, but they are. The fact is they are. So I think the fact that they can finish 7-9 or 8-8 is enough to keep Jay, and I'm with you. I like stability. I want to bring as many of these guys back that have produced as possible. Now, Terrell Pryor, he's got to go. Maybe even a Sean Laval may be a great guy, but hasn't really produced at a high level. Might be time to move on. But if Give me somebody else who's sort of a bubble guy. The guy that I don't really know what to do with is Bashaud Breeland. I really don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that they're going to be able to keep Breeland, A, that they want to, B, that they could financially afford to do so. And that's why you see Quentin Dunbar playing a lot here down the stretch and continuing his development. And he's far from a finished product. But remember, they also drafted Fabian Moreau. Of course, you had the big money set into Josh Norman. I just can't imagine how Breeland – the only way Breeland comes back is if he has no market and, 1 year, $3-4 million, and they just look to, well, we add him to the mix because you never have enough talent and you never have enough depth, and that's what this year proves. Whether they're stacking guys or not, I don't know. I don't think they are. I mean, hell, at one position, running back, which they have nobody to begin with, they have two guys with the same damn last name on IR, at the same position. Right. They have nobody. But the point is, overall, Breeland, I think, is gone.